So the orders are finally coming in. Now let's make sure that our customers get them as fast as possible and that we don't spend all day just fulfilling orders, which will happen once we start to scale. And that is why we have automation. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to show you how to fulfill your orders by fulfilling the orders that I got from my customers. And I'm going to show you both methods, how to do it manually and automatically, and you will choose what is best for you. I have a feeling that I know what you're going to choose, but the options are still going to be open. Okay, so we can see some of my analytics right here on Shopify. We see that we have orders to fulfill, 1 from a local audience, 4 more from the US target audience. But I just wanted to show you the analytics page because this does show you how much traffic is coming into your website, where they're coming from, which pages they're visiting the most, and so forth. Now you're going to see your orders right here on the orders page on Shopify, but we will not be fulfilling it from here. This is time consuming, it's not fun, and it's not scalable. So you're going to move over to AutoDS. You're going to click on orders, and here you can see all of the customer orders that came in. Now, in my case, I did issue some of them. I did send them out already because I don't want to keep all of them waiting, but let's go ahead and fulfill the rest of them because these customers are also waiting as well, but I do want you to see how it is done. Okay, so let's do that right now. And every time before I process my orders, I do like to make a sourcing request on AutoDS. Sourcing requests allow the system to find a better supplier with either faster shipping, cheaper prices, or both. And that way, you will be even more profitable and your customers will get their packages even faster. So no matter what supplier you used when you are adding these products to your store, whether it's from AutoDS's private suppliers or retail suppliers, wholesale, no matter where you added them from, you can always make a sourcing request and allow the system to find a better supplier for you. So how is that done? First of all, this is only eligible for products that are coming that are shipping out of China. Only products that are sourced from China can get a sourcing request. So from here, from the orders page, we can already make a sourcing request. I already made it for the water gun. So you can see right here, it says review sourcing because I did make a sourcing request. You can see that the sourcing request here is in progress. So I'm still waiting for the system to get back to me with a supplier for this product. And then when I click on review sourcing, I'm going to have this option here, sourcing details available. Then I'll be able to choose from a list which supplier, which shipping method I want to use, how much it's going to cost me, how fast it's going to ship to our customer, and what is the total product price that we're going to pay. But because I just did that, the sourcing request is not ready. So I'm just going to go with my regular supplier for now and show you how that's done. If you do not have a sourcing request, you can always make a new one right here. So for the humidifier, I didn't make a sourcing request yet. If I click it, it will start a sourcing request for the humidifier as well. So now that is also in progress. You should come back within a day and you'll have a sourcing request ready for you. Okay, so here I am once again at the orders page. The first column, we can see the product, then we can see the title of the product, the date that it's sold, the order status, which I'll go over with you soon, the estimated arrival date. If using automatic orders, then you can see what the estimated arrival date is. You got this icon here, which shows that this order was completed by the fulfilled by AutoDS service, which I will show you soon. You can also add an internal note, which only you can see. You've got more options here like editing the order, editing the product, opening a ticket about the order, and reviewing the sourcing request. Then you've got the rest of the columns. So tracking number will only be available once you have tracking. Item ID will take you to the item ID, whether it's on your selling channel or your supplier's page. So here, if I click on the buy ID, it'll take me to the product on my supplier's page. If I click on the sell ID, it'll take me to the product on my Shopify store. The quantity is how many units were sold. Day AS is days awaiting shipment. Then we've got the customer's name, their address, the store that it was sold on, which we can see is our gadget store, and the profitability. So this is really important to see if we're even profitable in the first place after all of the ad spend, which I will calculate with you soon. The taxes that we paid, order ID. So this is an FBA fulfilled by AutoDS order. Then you've got the sell ID, which is your order page on Shopify. Next, we've got tags. So what tags are these items under? And it's always a good idea to customize your display. Just like we did with the ads, I also want to customize what I see in the orders page. So let's go ahead and rearrange that just to make it a little bit more comfortable for us. So first can be sourcing request. Tracking number can come later after we fulfill the order, so I can just take it and drag it. Of course, you can turn some of these columns off if you don't want to see them. So we'll start with the sourcing request. Then I want to see a few things that are coming up next, starting with the price, tax, profit. Item ID can come even before that. Okay, it can be the first thing that we see. So what product sold? If we have a sourcing request, price, tax, and profit. Sourcing request, we can move that a little bit later further below because we also have a button for sourcing request under the orders link on AutoDS. So item ID, price, tax, profit. Then we'll add tracking number, quantity that was sold, and the customer's details can come last because we don't really need to see them from the columns. So customer, address, which store it was sold on, we can put that before the customer. Order ID can come after profit, before the tracking number. Okay, so this is a pretty good view. Let's put sourcing request before that. So it should look like this. Item ID, price, tax, profit, order ID, tracking number, quantity, sourcing request, buyer username, store, and the rest down here. I'm going to click on update. Okay, and I'm going to move it to the left. And now we have much more clear information as we see it first. Okay, so what else do we see here on the orders page? We can see these 3 orders right here are canceled because they were fake orders. So that's this order that we see right here. We can see 7 items in this order. Obviously, it's not a real order. The customer paid $0. So this is the fake order with their 7 items, and that is these 3 right here. So we've got these 3 products with a higher quantity. So 4 here, 2 here, and 1 here, total 7 products. This was the fake order, fake profitability in the negatives. So don't pay attention to these 3 orders. Everything from here came from the ads. All right, so let's start fulfilling the orders. If I click on any thumbnail here on the order screen, I can see the order details, like the buyer details, the order details, and the product details. And we have a few choices of how to fulfill our orders. So one is the manual method. That means going to your supplier's website, purchasing the product, and shipping it to your end customer. Now, if you're using retail suppliers like AliExpress, Walmart, Amazon, and so forth, you can just go to their websites, purchase the product, and make sure to use the customer's address when you're filling in your order details. Of course, don't fill in your own address by accident, by default, which is what you're probably used to doing when you're shopping online, because you don't need to ship the product to your address. Ship it directly to the customer. And of course, the difference between the source price and your selling price is your profit minus your expenses, which we will calculate soon. So here you have the customer's details. You're just going to go to your supplier's website and purchase the product. So in this case, I can click on the buy ID right here. This is directed to the product page on AliExpress where I can purchase this product. So I'm going to add it to my cart. I'm going to check out, and I'm going to use the customer's details for the shipping address. Then once we did that, we're going to change the order status from pending to ordered. Once it's unordered, we know that it was ordered. Then once you get tracking information from your supplier, you're going to update the same tracking information over here. So again, if you're processing orders manually, once it's ordered, you're going to move it to order. You're going to put your order ID right here, which you're getting from your supplier, and click on update. Once it's shipped, you're going to move it from ordered to shipped. Then you're going to enter the tracking information right here and select the shipping carrier and click on update once it's finished, and it will also update the tracking information on your Shopify store so that your customer can also see the tracking info, and use the tracking button on your website, which I showed you how to add, so that your customers will be able to use the tracking info you provided to track their orders and see when the package is going to arrive. And of course, you can move it to delivered once it's delivered, and canceled if for some reason you had to cancel the order. So that is how to do it manually. I don't advise to do it because once you get 50, 100, 150 and plus orders per day, you're going to be spending all day just fulfilling orders. You're not working anymore on product research. You're not opening new stores. You're not importing new products. You're not scaling your marketing. And all in all, you're not spending time where you should be in order to continue growing and scaling and make more profits come in on a daily basis. So that is why I always urge to go with order automation. As soon as an order comes in, it can be processed out automatically, even while you're traveling, even while you're sleeping, even while you're spending time with your friends or family. So this is a really important thing to have. As soon as an order comes in, it gets processed out automatically, sent to your customers. Tracking information will also be updated automatically, and all you got to do is sit back and relax and continue optimizing for growth and not spend all day just fulfilling your orders. So here's how that works. There are 2 automatic order options on AutoDS. There's automatic orders and there's fulfilled by AutoDS. Both of these methods automate your orders and also automate tracking updates. The difference between them is automatic orders uses your buyer accounts, and fulfilled by AutoDS uses AutoDS's buyer accounts to fulfill the orders. That is pretty much the difference between them. So if you're processing orders with your buyer accounts, the system needs your login to your supplier's websites in order to log in with your credentials and use your payment information to process the orders. But my suggestion is to go with Fulfilled by AutoDS. This way, you do not need to have any open buyer accounts, you do not need to add your payment information to those buyer accounts, and you do not need to risk having multiple buyer accounts open with multiple suppliers, and if some suppliers shut down your buyer account for whatever reason, you won't be able to use that anymore. Fulfilled by AutoDS is the perfect solution to this. It's not using your buyer accounts. You don't need to worry about buyer accounts getting locked. And anyway, if you're working with AutoDS's private suppliers, the orders that come in that were imported from private suppliers will be processed using Fulfilled by AutoDS anyway. So it is my recommended method to have. Here's how to set that up and work with both options. So first thing that we're going to do is go to the settings, make sure that your store is selected here under store, and that you also selected the supplier which you would like to configure these settings on. So here I went with AliExpress China to my gadget store. Then I'm going to click on the orders tab over here. And here I have two options under order settings. One is process orders using the Fulfilled by AutoDS service, and the second is automatic orders, which requires a buyer account unless you're using Fulfilled by AutoDS. So if this is confusing, let me make it really simple for you really quick. In order to even have these in the first place, make sure that you've got the automatic orders add-on enabled in your plans and add-ons. So first, click on plans and add-ons, go to the orders processor, and make sure that it's enabled. It's a very, very low cost for having all of your orders automated for you. You can make back this expense in just one order. So we're going to have the orders processor enabled. Then we're going to go back to the settings, make sure that your store and your supplier is selected. Then I'm going to click on the orders tab. So this means that every time I get orders from this supplier on this store, this is what I want to happen. So first you've got process orders using the Fulfilled by AutoDS service. Then you've also got automatic orders. So if I only have the first one ticked in, it's going to use the Fulfilled by AutoDS service. If I have only the second one ticked in, it's going to use the automatic order service, which still automates my orders, but it's going to use my buyer accounts, not AutoDS's. And if I have both of them checked in, then it's going to use the Fulfilled by AutoDS service. And as soon as an order comes in, it's not going to be in pending. It's going to be sent out to auto order right away. That's what it means when both of these are selected. If only the first one is selected, then it's going to be using Fulfilled by AutoDS, and the orders will come in pending status. So that means that an order will come in looking like this, in pending. Okay, it's not going to be sent out. You're going to have to come to the order, check it out, click on the status, and send it to auto order. Only then will it move to order processing using Fulfilled by AutoDS. So my recommendation is to work with Fulfilled by AutoDS. Whether you want it to come in pending status and move it by yourself to send to auto order, maybe you want to have time to send a sourcing request, so you do want it to come in pending, then you can just have the first one ticked in. If you want the order sent out as soon as it comes in, have both of them ticked in, then it'll use Fulfilled by AutoDS and automate the orders as soon as they come in. And when using Fulfilled by AutoDS or automatic orders, the order statuses will also get updated automatically. So as soon as an order gets sent to auto order, it will move to ordered status as soon as it's ordered automatically with the order ID. It will change to shipped once tracking information is available from your supplier. The automatic order system will move it to shipped status with the tracking information and delivered once it's delivered. So another perk of having automatic orders is to also see the order statuses moving automatically according to the order statuses. Okay, for now, I'm only going to have the first one ticked in, and you've got other options available down here. For example, tracking conversion. If you're using Amazon as a supplier, then your customer won't be able to track orders with a TBA tracking number, which is Amazon's logistics. So here you can opt in to have your tracking number converted to a number that will be able to be scanned outside of Amazon so that your buyer can also see the tracking details. So here you can convert to QTrack, Blue Care Express, or just generate a UPS, FedEx, DHL tracking number, which is my recommendation if you're working on Shopify and using Amazon as your supplier. Okay, so here you're going to use that as a tracking conversion and go ahead and click on save. You've got other options like sending a gift message if you're using Amazon as a supplier, and other things like maximum purchase order price. If you want to learn about all the options, all the settings, let me know in the comments below and I'll send you a video on how to use the orders on AutoDS, whether it's automatic orders fulfilled by AutoDS, anything you want to know, just request it below this video. But after I finish automating my orders, I will walk you through some of the essential AutoDS settings that you definitely want to have configured in order to be able to scale your sales better and automate your business in the best way. So you went to plans and add-ons, you got the orders processor enabled, then you went to supplier settings, you clicked on the supplier, you made sure that your store is selected, you went to orders, and you enabled fulfilled by AutoDS, and maybe to have the orders get automated as soon as they come in, or untick to keep it in pending, or only have the second one for automatic orders. Keep in mind that for automatic orders, it uses your buyer accounts, so you do need to set them up right here under buyer accounts. So it's really simple, just click on add account, click on the supplier which you'd like to automate your orders with, and enter your credentials, payment settings, and so forth. Again, if you want further explanations, let me know in the comments below, and I'll send you a link to learn on how to do that. But for now, let's process these orders. The last thing that you need to know on Fulfilled by AutoDS is because the system is using its own buyer accounts to process your orders, it needs to pay for those orders somehow. And that is why you're also going to top up your balance right up here. So on the orders page, you're going to hover over here. You can see that currently I have a balance of $59, so I can use that to fulfill my orders. So here, for example, I paid $11.88 to have it automated. So that was the total price that was deducted from my total balance. So first you need to load your balance because you're going to start off with $0. You're going to click here where it says load, select how much you would like to top up. I usually go with $100. It depends on how many orders you're getting per day. So go with 50, 100, 200, whatever fits. Then your payment method. So you can use either credit card, PayPal, or Payoneer to top up your balance. I suggest going with Payoneer because it only has a 3% fee, which is better than 5% when going with credit card or with PayPal. So this means that if I use Payoneer, I top it up with $100, it's going to charge me $103 because of the 3% fee. Then you're going to click on add account, add your information, your first name, last name, and your Payoneer account email or PayPal credit card, or whatever it may be. Continue with the setup process, add your account, then your account will be added to the balance. So besides a balance to pay for the orders, the last thing that you need is auto order credits. Each order costs 1 auto order credits, which is a few cents. And as you can see, I've got over 2,000 auto order credits. When you create a new AutoDS account, you have some credits for free, but you'll need to top up the rest. So you're going to click right here where it says buy credits. Choose the package that works best for you, click on buy now, and top up those credits so that you can start automating your orders. The expenses here are really low for all of the automation that you're getting, and you make it back really easily with the profitability that you're going to learn to work with. So now I'm going to fulfill all of these orders automatically and see what is my total profitability, because I want to see if at the end of the day, I was able to make a good return on my ad spend, and if I should continue scaling the ads that I talked about from just a few minutes ago. So let's go ahead and send these all out to automatic orders. I can do it one by one here, or I can also select it in bulk. So I can select these 3 right here, click on the bulk actions, and on the status, I want to send all of them to automatic orders. Okay, so whether you want to do it manually or in bulk, that is how you do it. And now that those orders are being processed, let's see what is my total profitability. So let's go ahead and check it out. This is a total profit, not counting these that were just demo orders, not real. So let's kind of round it to see where we stand. So these are all the orders that we got. These 4 are coming from the same customer, if I remember correctly. Yes, so these 4 are from one customer. These 2 are from another customer. And then this is from another, and this is from another. So in total, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 customers, which are the same 4 that we can see right here on the orders page on Shopify. So while those orders are being processed by the Fulfilled by AutoDS service, you can see that they're all in order progress. We can see right here completed by the Fulfilled by AutoDS service. And of course, when your order is processed, you can check out the details over here to see exactly what is the order history, where it stands, and so forth. All right, so let's count the profits. We've got $10, $20, $30, $40, then 12, that's about 52, plus 12, that's 64, plus 22, that's 86, plus 12, that's about $98. So in total, we're looking at around $98 in profit. And now let's take a look at the total ad spend. So here we've got $60 plus another 61. So we've got about $121, $122 in ad spend and $98 in profit. So that means that I'm still just about $30 shy into breaking even. And that is only after 3 days of running ads. Usually it takes much longer than this to get sales, to get profit. Because I've been doing this for 9 years, I'd like to think that I have a little bit of a leverage, a little bit of a head start as opposed to people who are just starting today. And that is why I'm able to rake in orders on the first products that I find from product research, on the first times that I try to market them. In most cases, your first product and your first ad is most likely probably not going to make a sell, and that is completely fine because you're still learning the ropes as you go. Then you have one ad that starts to work well. Then you start to put more of a budget on that. Then it starts to perform better as you go along. But usually, after 3 days of running ads, don't expect to make thousands of sales and thousands of dollars. Even if you're able to make one sale after 3 days, you're already on the way to becoming profitable. And if I continue these ads running, especially after I turned off all of the ones that are just spending my money and not making any sales, and I keep putting my budget on those that are working, I'm going to be in the profit zone within 1 to 2 days of continuing to run these ads. What I should have done is stop with the local market before it reached $60 in ad spend. And if I completely remove my local market and go only with the US market, then I'm definitely in the profit zone, because here I only have $60 of ad spend, and those orders came from these customers over here in the United States. So here, the profit for those orders start from here. So that's 12, 24, 24 plus 22 is 46, 46 plus 12 is 58. So I'm just breaking even. $61 in ad spend, $58 in profit. I am just breaking even with my US advertising campaign. So 3 days, breaking even. I know for sure that if I keep this running for 3 more days, for another week, I'm going to be in the big profit zone. And if you want to know what that looks like, once again, let me know in the comments below, and I will share with you my current updated statistics for this store and these ads that I'm running. So I'm really happy about breaking even after 3 days and making some nice sales from the first ads that I ran from the first campaign. My expectations weren't that high, so I'm actually really excited about these products. I'm still not sure about the humidifier. We'll still need to see how the UGC ad performs. It did really well. Maybe it's just luck. We'll only see after a day or two if that continues to make sales or not. But the water gun, even though summer is pretty much behind us because it's September while I'm recording this video, it's still making sales. It's still about to put me in the profit zone. If I would have started in the beginning of the summer, it could have worked a lot better. So timing is really important as well. But I'm feeling really happy about this store and where it's going to go. As you can see, some of these orders are being processed. Some got insufficient funds because I do need to top up my balance. So let me put that in pending. Let these orders continue to run, top up my balance, and put the rest of these orders in automation. So that is how you can easily process and automate your orders, which makes it really easy for scaling and profitability. So now that we know how to run ads, how to analyze them, how to optimize them, how to get to a point where we're breaking even and breaking into the profitability zone, and how to process our orders using order automation, the next thing that I want to show you is how to set your settings, pricing, and everything else inside the AutoDS system so all of the automation will be configured well and everything will be set up in advance the right way.